All right, let's talk speech patterns. For informative speaking, there are three patterns that I want you to choose between either spatial, chronemics, or topical. With a spatial pattern of organization, that's where you take three different spaces or locations, proxemics, the study of distance and location, and figure out how to narrow from that jumbled list down to an organized speech. So, if I'm using spatial organization for the topic of scuba diving, I could do scuba diving in a river, scuba diving in a lake, scuba diving in a pool. Three different spaces or locations. So, it's a spatial pattern of organizing, a spatial way of taking that list and narrowing it down. Maybe I say scuba diving in Belize, scuba diving in Australia, scuba diving in Hawaii. Again, three different locations or spaces, proxemics. The second pattern is chronemics, or the study of time. We understand our world through a sense of time morning, noon, and night, the days of the week, the months of the year. And ever had breakfast for dinner? What's the difference between pancakes in the morning and pancakes at night? The fact of the matter is that we understand our world through a sense of time. So maybe I talk about the history of scuba diving, when it went recreational, and the future of scuba diving. Or scuba diving on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Scuba diving in a morning, noon, and night. I could talk about scuba diving at three different times of the year. That would be a sense of chronemics, a way of using time as my organizing pattern. The final category based pattern is topical organization, and it seems like the easiest. You choose any three topics, so dartboard on your list. But the problem is that you have to choose topics that are not going to be totally skewed. If I'm talking about scuba diving and I talk about the risks, the cost, and the deaths, that's a negative speech about scuba diving. It's no longer informative, it's persuasive. If I talk about how awesome scuba diving is, the benefits to our health, and where I want to go scuba diving, that's a weak persuasion. For scuba diving, it's no longer an informative. So with topical, you choose three topics or categories. It's the way we understand the world around us, is literally through stereotyping and categories. But you've got to choose categories that stay balanced with informative public speaking. So remember for your infophobia, when you're narrowing it down using the pattern, step 5 of the speech making process, you want to choose either spatial, topical, or chronological.